Okay, so the next topic comes down to, now that the election's over, what happens now? What happens now? Um, somebody in the chat saying I'm going to wake up in the morning and go to work like I usually do. That's what the majority of Americans going to do. People saying stay safe. Look, I saw somebody on there earlier today. They were a GOP voter, and they were like, "Why are people telling people to stay?" Because there are portions of the country that are about to change significantly. Um, and as far as what happens next, again, I personally have the privilege of living in Washington State, so again, I've already seen the Massachusetts governor on there, and they were like, "Are you going to help with the mass deportation?" She's like, "No, no, our state police won't do it. Sorry, like send feds in, but we're not going to help." Um, that's already started. Um, Again, I think a lot of this comes down to, your theory of the case. There is a not small piece portion of the electorate that doesn't really think Trump's going to do all the things that he says he's going to do. Do I think I'll be honest. I don't know. I have no idea what's about to happen. Um, it is so hard at this point to prognosticate how the next 4 to 8 years are going to go. Because we don't know what the administration looks like. We just don't. Um, Previous times, the guardrails of democracy have held. We just don't know. We just really, really don't know. He made a lot of promises on the campaign trail that are worrying a lot of people. 200% tariffs and things like that. I'm going to bring this up because this guy's one of my favorite TikTokers. He's a disabled vet. I watch his stuff all the time. He's hilarious. But I'm going to play. I'm going to play his video, and you guys can help me react to this. So here you go.
Fine. Touch the hot stove. That's where I'm at.
Yep.
I'm angry. I'm disappointed. I'm terrified for my future as a veteran who depends on the government. I'm afraid for my friends. I'm afraid for my infant niece. More than any other emotion is just the feeling of, fine, touch the hot stove. I keep trying to warn you, but clearly you're not going to listen.
And the reason I like this is this is kind of where he's going to go.
Our functionally illiterate electorate kneeling at the altars of algorithms is going to get the exact guy that their brain rot represents. He's told us who he is. We've told you who he is. His advisors have told you who he is. But it doesn't matter, because the price of eggs went up a little bit. Gas was a little more expensive 2 years ago after a global pandemic. Video games had the audacity to put pronouns in the character selector and one too few grizzled white men on the cover. Maybe it's the machismo of men who are so uneducated on women's bodies that they are genuinely terrified of a 60-year-old's time of the month. Maybe you fell for those white leftists who told you not to vote in between regurgitating Russian propaganda word for word. Because they want to burn down the house. Who cares if the stove is hot? I'm sure this Republican trifecta will usher in a beautiful new age of leftist ideals. But we're going to find out together, aren't we? We're all getting burned. There's no more need for warnings or pleas to people's better natures. We're done with that. We have overwhelmingly chosen as a country to do the worst possible route. And some part of me is just like, all right, strap in, let's go. I survived a war. I'll survive this. I did everything in my power. I believe the Democrats ran an unbelievably popular campaign. Yeah, we could blame Joe Biden for not dropping out soon enough.
Yeah, that's my only
blame
critique.
The entire Democratic establishment for being so obsessed with political norms and trying to take the high road that they allowed populism to bloom under their watch. But some 70 million people chose fascism, and then tens of millions of more people said, I don't even care, whoever wins. Because they didn't show up to vote. I'm strapped into this bus. Nobody around the world wants a disabled expat veteran from America. So if I'm strapped into this bus and you all are so determined to drive it off of a cliff, I'm not going to cry while we go over. I'm going to laugh. I'm gonna laugh the whole time, because we're hitting those consequences together, baby. You want to destroy the country I love so much I wrote a blank check on her behalf and then deployed to the other side of the planet to get blown up in one of her dumb wars? Let's do it, baby. America's not going out with a whimper. Let's touch all the stoves. All these books I read about World War II are about to get a lot more relevant. I'm front row seat to the greatest fireworks show we've ever seen in history. USA.
Okay. So what's the end thing here? And I'm gonna bring up something somebody saying over in the YouTube chat. Because it's bringing up a good point that we kind of talked about in the last section, right? Where again, I was with somebody last night who again was talking about all these things in our political system and was like, why are we doing it this way? And he kind of skews a little, and I was like, you're right. It's those guys. It's the Republicans. It's not the Democrats who are doing it. Okay. The things that you're complaining about, man, are, and me and my other buddy who were there with me on election night are telling him, like, dude, like, we love you, but learn like this. The funny thing is, and so somebody in the YouTube chat brought up the tax on overtime thing. I love this because if you read the lovely Agenda 47, he's going to put the no tax on overtime. I think they're going to pass that. And this is, again, where I think that law is going to get knocked down. They're going to change the overtime rules. So you're not going to get taxed on your overtime, but it doesn't matter how many hours in the week you work for your overtime. They're going to do it as a rolling monthly average, right? And so that's how they're going to cut down on overtime, right? Is they're going to bang you on overtime, like, okay, you're going to work 50 hours, 30, right? And now you don't get any overtime because even though you worked 50 hours those 2 weeks, there's no overtime, right? So that's, this is all very well structured. Like, and again, this is why I said in the last segment, the Republicans have won the information fight. Okay. They've got the Democrats beat because the problem is that there were a lot of people in the Democratic establishment trying to explain to people like, hey, these are bad policies and here's why. But the problem is it's not, their messaging is not getting through, right? Yeah, exactly. Somebody in the Twitch chat's bringing it up, right? So they're going to try and change the overtime rules. Again, I think what you're going to see for probably the first 2 years, because that's how long it takes to get through the court system, is they're going to pass stuff and then a state's going to sue and go, or a union's going to sue. And on the overtime one, what's going to happen is they're going to pass the no tax on overtime thing. They're going to lock it in with this new overtime plan that they have. And then every union in the country is going to sue. They're going to go, wait a minute. And then it's going to go through the courts. And so I don't think a lot of this stuff's going to happen for the first couple of years. The ones that are the ones that concern me, right? The tariff thing he might be able to do unilaterally. I guess I'm going to stop drinking coffee. Because coffee's about to get really fucking expensive if he puts 200% tariffs across the board. You know, it is what it is. And again, like our good buddy Pat Lawler over here said, right? Just go down with the bus, man. Like, I mean, that's kind of the choice that you have at this stage is, you know, go down with the bus. And this, you know, there was one other thing he says in this that really stuck with me. And actually, I see a lot of people on the left saying this today.
USA!
Wait, hang on. There's one in particular I want to highlight.
America. So if I'm strapped into this bus, but nobody take the high road is obsessed, determined. I'm a laugh. So if I'm strapped into this bus and you all are so determined to drive it off of a cliff, I'm not gonna cry while we go over. I'm a laugh. I'm gonna laugh the whole time because we're hitting those consequences together, baby. You want to destroy the country I love so much I wrote a blank check on her.
I'm trying to find the line he says. This one.
Deals. But we're going to find out together, aren't we? We're all getting burned. There's no more need for warnings
or please
to people's better natures.
Yeah, so that's the thing that I think that I'm seeing a lot on the left right now is I'm seeing a lot of people on the left being like, you know what? Fuck it, we give up. They feel that they tried. Like, look, we tried to explain. Like, this is why 200% tariffs across the board is a bad policy. All right, don't listen. Somebody in the thing. So I do work as in management in the security industry. There's no big negative to untaxed overtime for the contractor. Okay, that's the thing. That's not who it's bad for. It's bad for the workers, right? And again, we're gonna find out, right? That's what it is. I was rolling through some right-wing pages today, and a lot of them are like, it was funny because Mike Lee, who's a senator from, where's Mike Lee a senator in? Damn it, why can't I think of this? I think it's Utah. Oh, no. Yeah, Utah. Yeah, I was right. Utah, motherfucker. He was like, which cabinet agency should go first, right? And I saw all these conservatives in his thing being like, oh, this one and this one. And I was just like, oh, this is going to be funny. This is going to be hilarious. Like, are they actually going to let Elon get in there and start eliminating cabinet level fucking secretaries? It's funny. Some of the YouTube chat saying it's a lot of wait and see right now. Yeah. And I mean, and that's the thing is a lot of people are like, how bad is it? I don't know. Right. There is a non-zero sum chance that he's going to get in there and he's just going to get stymied at every level. And it's going to be a lot like his first term where they set things up for his second term, but they didn't really get a lot done. Like, not a lot happened substantively because they just couldn't do it through a series of either putting people in the positions who didn't understand how to do it because they'd never worked in government before. And things like that. So again, and this is kind of the thing that I get to with Pat Lawler and the Daily Show. And the reason I'm doing these, and I'm going to talk to somebody in the chat, calling somebody a traitor disgrace. And the reason I keep bringing up the stories about people who are just, again, ridiculously misinformed, right? Again, this is somebody I see every week and he's just like, why is this? And I'm like, it's frustrating because I like this guy as a person, right? We hang out, we play games. But he really, like, I'm like, dude, like, everything you're talking about is not informed from a place of reality, right? And again, I just don't. The Republicans won the information, and this kind of goes back to that joke in Trump's first term when they were like, "I'm giving you alternative facts," right? Like. And that became a big meme for a while in Trump's first term was alternative facts. Because they would like, here's the alternative. Like, these aren't facts. You can't just call them facts when they're not. Okay. I don't know. Yeah, I honestly don't know. Like, there is a chance that this is just basically going to go nowhere. But I'm almost in Pat Lawler's like boat where I'm like, I kind of hope I am not so I wish I could say it's been obvious, but it's not. It's not obvious. And again, I know that our nature tells us we want to be like, it's not obvious how bad the disinformation has been until you've calmly spent a lot of time being like, what? A lot of people don't spend a lot of time on this, right? There's 24 hours in the day and they don't spend a lot of time looking at policy documents or hearing anything. And so it's the information they're getting is just whoever can jam it through whatever channels first, right? that's why I give a little bit of grace, right? Speaking of the project, somebody brought up Project 2025, and all during the campaign, he was like, "It's not me, it's not me, it's not me." So I'm gonna bring this up. This is fucking hilarious because this happened today. So fucking shithead Matt Walsh, who everybody loves, right? Obviously, what did he do this morning? He said something. Oh wait, here we go. So this is obviously, if you're in the right wing, if you understand the right wing ecosystem, you know who this is. He's in the right wing ecosystem, and literally this morning he's like, "All right, now that we won, we can say, yep, Project 2025 is the agenda." Like they're not even hiding it anymore, right? And it was funny because one of the posts, he actually ended up retweeting, right? Somebody was like, "Holy crap, he was tweeting," because basically they were like, "Hey, fuckers, we fucking lied." Yep. And again, somebody used to, like, people who don't follow a ton of politics. Yes, both sides struggle to do research on what they're voting on. That is absolutely true. That is not incorrect. Okay. Both sides struggle to do research. Is that the sprinkle idiot? I don't know. But yes, as far as that, again, I just don't know. Before Biden dropped out, I had kind of come to a place where I believed he was going to lose. Like, I was like, he's going to lose. Trump's going to fucking mollywop, especially after that god-awful debate performance. It was the thing that ended up pushing him out. So the thing that was interesting was I'd kind of gotten into my head that Trump was going to win months ago. And then when Kamala brought it in, I was like, okay, maybe we got a shot. And like 3 weeks ago, I was like, okay. And again, anybody that was on the show last week, I was going to do my predictions last week and I stopped myself. I was like, and it's, you can go back and watch last week's show and look. And on last week's show, I was like, I don't know. Because the data was all over the map. Right? Like there was nothing in there where I was like, I feel confident about anything right now. Somebody in the chat saying that this is a more lefty podcast, so it might be a little more biased, but they see it happen on both sides a lot. I would say, while you're checking me, check yourself and where you're getting your data from as well. Because if you're seeing it happen on both sides a lot, I would in-person challenge that theory. What I would say about lefties is here if you want to come with some real critiques for left-wingers, hang on.